Hashivenu Yaelecha V'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem Renew our faith in life, release us from pain and strife, remind us of who we are as we return to you.
I'm Carol Folkrod, and I want to welcome all of you to our Erev Yom Kippur services, all of you here in the sanctuary, and all of you who are joining us on YouTube. A couple of bits of information. Restrooms are out. If you go out that side, they're to your left. If you go out here, they're to your right, and they're obvious. And please, 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 turn off your phones. Check if you're not sure. Also, if you have any other electronic device that might make a noise, turn it off. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. I also wanted to welcome those who are joining us virtually with a blessing of inclusion of spirit and voice with those gathered in our holy sanctuary. May our sanctuary's light and love be found in your holy spaces. May all our prayers join together in their holy ascent into the heart of our universe, the heart of the divine. And in the words of Rabbi Elise Goldstein, this year, may we become the people we wanted to be last year. May this coming year be better than the one which is past, because of the one which has passed. May we stay strong for each other, because we have experienced weakness. May we stay bound to each other because we have experienced isolation. May we stay close to each other because we have experienced distance. May our new normal be better than the one we think we will return to. And let us all say, Amen. Stacy will be reading on
page 104, Wild Geese.
Yes. Stacy's writing.
Oh, Stacy's here. Sorry. So it's still Geese, read by Stacy Grove.
Thank you. I invite you to take a breath in and just breathe in and out in your own comfort as you listen to these words. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles on the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are headed home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. Mary Oliver.
Please rise as we take out the Torah scrolls in preparation for the singing of Kol Nidrei. And on page 106, please read with me at the top of the page. Before we begin to atone for last year, we make clear that we know how we vow. We do mean to keep that word, the word we give when we want to bribe God with good deeds. So now we state that next year we will live with less fear, live our weakness and strength as it flows. No more vows, no more bribes, no more oaths will we pledge. And if in weakness we vow, we void them right now, so that freely we can see both the divine and the human. And at the bottom of the page, by consent of this group, gathered here in this space, and consent of the powers on high, we will share in this prayer and admit we were wrong, all together and apart, you and I. A light which transcends all limits and bounds is sown in our hearts at this time. Thus, the tzaddik in us can rejoice and be glad and burst forth from our eyes now and shine.
בישיבה של מעלה ובישיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירים להתפלל עם העבריינים. כל נדרי ושרי בחרמי וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי ושבועות דין דרנה ודיש טבענה ודחרימנה ודיאסרנה על נפשתנה ביום כיפורים זה עד יום כיפורים הבא עלינו לטובה. עיקרת נבון כולון יהון שרן שביתים בטלין ומבוטלין לא שרירים
Kol Nidre is traditionally recited 3 times. So Cantor Karen has lovingly sang it once in Hebrew. We will now read it together in English on the bottom of page 167. I think it's 107. And then for the third rendition, Jake will be playing the cello for us. All vows, bonds, devotions, promises, obligations, penalties, and oaths which we have vowed, sworn, devoted, and bound ourselves spiritually before God from this Yom Kippur to the next Yom Kippur, may it come to us for good. We repent for all of them. Let them be absolved, released, annulled, made void, and have no effect. They will not be binding or have any power. Our vows will not be vows, our bonds will not be bonds, and our oaths will not be oaths.
I am reading on page 108. So there shall be granting of pardon for the entire community of the children of Israel, and for the sojourner who sojourns in their midst, for it was done by the entire people in error. Pray, grant pardon for the iniquity of the people, as your loyalty is great, just as you have been bearing iniquity for this people, from Egypt until now. Adonai said, I grant pardon according to your words.
And as we always do at this, at any occasion, special occasion or special time of year, we all recite the Shehechianu together, and that's on the bottom of page 108. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyemanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. You are praised, O Eternal One, our Creator, Sovereign of the world, giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to stand here on this day. And now we rise in body or spirit for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, and it's in our special high holiday melody. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Page 111. We are loved. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. Your love will never depart from us as long as worlds endure. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel.
ואהבתך לא תסור ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
And please remain standing for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod, Shem Kivod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. And please join me in the Ve'ahavta on page 113. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha
ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 114 in our living. It came to pass that, and it will come to pass that we wore tzitzits, fringes on the corners of our clothing, tzitzits, with a twine of blue to remember God in our deeds. And when we come to want things, without end, we grasp the corners of our tzitzits and fly to the sacred ground to remember Yud-He Vav-He in our living. I am Yah, your God, when I call you out of the narrow place, the Mitzrayim of your lives, so that I can become the sacred power among you. Miriam and Moses and the people Israel sang with great joy this song to Adonai.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נטע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה לי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
And on page 116, please read with me in the English. Grant, Adonai our God, that we may lie down in peace and raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from hatred and plague. Keep us from war and famine and anguish. Subdue our inclination to evil. And on the next page, O God, our guardian and our helper, our gracious and merciful ruler, give us refuge in the shadow of your wings. Guard our coming and our going, that now and always we have life and peace. Blessed is Yah, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Hashkivenu Ya Eloheinu L'Shalom. Hashkivenu Ya Eloheinu L'Shalom. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Hashki
לשלום. השכיבנו, יא אלוהינו, לשלום. And on page 119, we go to the Chatzi Kaddish, also in High Holiday Melody, and that will propel us into the main part of our service. Yitgadol v'yitgadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael B'agala uv'izman karib v'imru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach Leolam ulalmei olmaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Vishtabach Vitbar Vitromam Vitnaseh Vitadar Vitale Vitalal Shmei de Kudisha Brichu Leila Leila Min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. And please rise in body or spirit for the Amidah, the standing prayer. And on page 120, the words are just a little different. If you have this insert, this is what we'll be following, but I think you could follow along even if you don't have it. Adonai Ananana sfatai tifta Ananana ufi agi tehilatecha Ananana Adonai Ananana sfatai tifta Ananana ufi agi tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'hanora Elyon Gomel chasadim tovim Vekonei hakol Vezocher chazdei avot v'imot Umevi geula livnei v'nechem L'man shemo Be'ava Zochreinu l'chaim Melech hafetz b'chaim V'chodbeinu b'sefer ha'chaim L'mancha Elohim chaim מגן ופחד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה לרב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים. סומק נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אב הרחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה.
Okay, I'm reading in English at the bottom of page 123. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who strive to be holy declare your glory day by day. And therefore, place an awe of you, God, Yah, our God, on all that you have made, and let a deep shudder pass over all that exists, so that all creatures, realizing their interconnectedness in you, will yield themselves to you, and so form one conscious, interconnected entity, doing your will with a whole heart. For we know, Yah, our God, that sovereignty is yours, strength in your hand, and power in your right hand, and that your awesome name envelops all that you have created. And therefore, the righteous will see and rejoice, the upright celebrate, and the pious make thrilling music. Evil will be silenced, and violence will dissipate like smoke when you remove the rule of evil from the earth. You are holy and awesome is your name. There is no God other than you. You are praised, Yah, the Holy Sovereign.
You chose us, along with all peoples who have come to know you. You have loved us and desired us. You have elevated all of us who know you through the sacredness of spiritual practice. You bring us close to understanding your sovereignty through service. Thus is your great and holy name known through us. In love, you gave us, Yah, our God, this day of at-one-ment, for pardon, forgiveness, and wiping the slate clean. May our willful transgressions also be forgiven. This day is called holy, reminding us of the Exodus from Egypt.
Our God and the God of our fathers and mothers, may our prayer arise and come to you, and be beheld, and be acceptable. Let it be heard, acted upon, remembered, the memory of us and our needs, of our ancestors, and of the days of our future redemption, the memory of Jerusalem, your holy city, and the memory of all your kin, the house of Israel, all surviving in your presence. Act for goodness and grace, for love and care, for life, well-being, and peace on this Yom Kippur day. Remember us this day, Yah, our God, for goodness. Favor us this day with blessing. Preserve us this day for life. With your redeeming and nurturing word, be kind and generous. Act tenderly on our behalf, and grant us victory over all our trials. Truly, our eyes turn toward you, for you are a providing God. Sovereign, gracious, and merciful are you.
Zochreinu, Ya Eloheinu, bo l'tova. Remember us this day, Ya God, for goodness. Favor us this day with your blessing. Preserve us this day for life. Welcome to sit whenever you'd like. It's a long time to be standing.
Our God and the God of our mothers and fathers, forgive our transgressions on this Yom Kippur day. Erase them. Remove our acts of rebellion and sins from your sight. O God and the God of our mothers and fathers, make us holy through your mitzvot, which connect us to you, and make your Torah our portion in life. Satisfy us with your goodness, and may our souls rejoice in your salvation. Settle us, Yah, our God, lovingly and willingly in your holy Shabbat. And may Israel, those who make your name holy, rest in her. Purify our hearts so we serve you truthfully. For you are the one who forgives Israel, pardons the tribes of Jerusalem in every generation. Without you, we have no sovereign. There is no one else who pardons and forgives us other than you. Blessed are you, Yah, sovereign, pardoning and forgiving the people of Israel, absolving our guilt annually, sovereign over all the world, who makes holy the Shabbat, Israel, and Yom Kippur.
On page 130, Ritzeh,
Please feel free to sing with me. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu B'Amecha Yisrael U'Tfilatam B'Ahava Tikabel U'Tihil Ratzon Tamid Avodat Yisrael ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון. ברחמים. ברוך אתה המחזיר שכינתו לציון. So, on page 131, we are going to recite Modim. We're going to alternate. Clarissa and I are going to alternate in. Are we?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read a verse in Hebrew, and Clarissa's going to read one in English.
The next one.
Huh?
It'll be the next one.
Okay, so we're going to alternate. We're going to try this. Haven't done it before. And we'll see what happens. Modim anachnu lach, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu leolam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen yishenu atahu ledovador.
We acknowledge you, declare your praise, and thank you for our lives entrusted to your hand, our souls placed in your care, for your miracles that greet us every day, and for your wonders and good things that are with us our morning, noon, and night.
נודה לך ונספר תהילתך על חיינו המסורים בידיך ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים.
For all these things, let your name be blessed and raised in honor always, forever. Let all of life acknowledge you.
הטוב כי לא חלו רחמך, והמרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך, מעולם קיווינו לך. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם שמך תמיד לעולם ועד, וכתוב לחיים טובים כל בני בריתך, וכל החיים ידוך סלע, והעלו את שמך באמת, האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלע, Let's all start at the top of the Hebrew.
Baruch.
We got a little off. Okay. Good one, whose kindness never stops. Read the English with me. Kind
Good
one, whose
whose
loving acts have never failed.
Always,
Always
have we placed our hope in you. For all these things, let your name be blessed and raised in honor always forever. Let all of life acknowledge you. Write down for a good life
all of us who are covenanted with you. May all beings praise your name in truth, O God, our rescue and our aid.
Blessed are you, Yah, whose name is good and in whom all thanks are due.
Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulachan na'eh lehodot. Shalom Rav. Grant abundant peace eternally for Israel, your people. Please sing with me 133. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom rav o Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav o Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol eit u'v'chol shah b'shlamecha. Shalom rav o Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom rav o Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Baruch atah Adonai hamavarech et amo Yisrael bashalom. Blessed are you, Yud-He Vav-He, maker of peace.
Page 136. Our God and the God of our fathers and mothers, let our prayer come before you. Please don't turn away from our supplication, for we are neither so arrogant nor so stubborn that we would say to you, Yah, our God, and the God of our fathers and mothers, righteous are we, and we have not missed our mark. For in truth, we have made mistakes.
I'm on page 137. Who are we? Light and truth, infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we've abused, we've betrayed, we've been cruel, we've destroyed, we've embittered, we have falsified, we have slandered, we have hated. At our core, we are light and truth, infinite wisdom, eternal goodness, yet we've insulted, we have jeered, we have killed, and we have lied. We've mocked, we've neglected, we've oppressed, we've perverted. Our real being is light and truth, infinite wisdom, eternal goodness. Yet we have quarreled, we've rebelled, we've stolen, we've corrupted, we've been unkind, we've been violent, we've left the path, we've led others off the path.
Ashamnu, Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Bagadnu, Gazanu, Tibarnu Dofi, ay, ay, ay. Tafarnu shaker, tafarnu shaker, ay, 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 Yatsnura, Yatsnura, Kizavnu, Kizavnu, Latnu, Latnu, Maradnu, Maradnu, Niatnu, Niatnu, Sararnu, Sararnu, Avinu, Avinu, Hashanu, Hashanu, Sararnu, Sararnu, Kishinu Oref, Kishinu Oref, ay, 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 Rashanu, Rashanu, Shichatnu, Shichatnu, Tiavnu, Tiavnu, Tainu, Tainu, Titanu, Titanu.
I'm on page 138. For the wrong we did before you, either under coercion or willingly, and for missing the mark without ever knowing. For the wrong we did before you in public or in private, for missing the mark through our speech. For the wrong we did before you in thought, and for missing the mark through offensive language. For the wrong we did before you on purpose and by mistake, and for missing the mark by overestimating our strength. For the wrong we did before you by speaking stupidly, and for missing the mark knowingly and unknowingly. For these, O God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, wipe the slate clean.
Ve'al kulam elo slichot selach lanu
for the wrong we did before you by lying and denying, and for missing the mark through malicious gossip, for the wrong we did before you in buying and selling, and for missing the mark by trying to maximize personal gain, for the wrong we did before you through idle gossip, and for missing the mark by being proud. For all these, O God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, and wipe the slate clean.
V'al kulam elo selichot selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu v'al kulam elo selichot selach lanu mechalanu selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu.
For the wrong we did before you by rejecting discipline, and for missing the mark by entrapping our friends. For the wrong we did before you by making light of serious things, and missing the mark by slandering. For the wrong we did before you by hating others for no reason, and missing the mark by acting from a place of inner confusion. For all these, O God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, wipe the slate clean.
V'al kulam elo selichot selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu v'al kulam elo selichot selach lanu mechalanu selach lanu mechalanu kaper lanu.
So we now come to the part of the service where we will take a few minutes for some self-reflection, some meditation. And this meditation is about forgiveness. So for a moment, I'd like you to feel your breath, feel the breathing, feel the air, feel your connection with the earth. And feel your heart. And from the center of your heart, I want you to feel forgiveness. And we'll start with self-forgiveness. So, if you are in need of some self-forgiveness because you've had a little bit of self-judgment this year, and who hasn't? Or you've done something you regret. And it's good to regret those things which we do that miss the mark, because we act from fear and confusion and forgetfulness. So in those moments, take a moment to think of the places in you that need some forgiveness. And feeling your breath and feeling the divine magic that's all around us and within us. It's now time to think about someone you want to forgive, because people have been acting out of fear and confusion, and they forget who they are, their specialness, and lash out. So there's people that need to be forgiven. So now is a moment, take that moment, feeling the breath in you, feeling the earth in you, feeling the potential for forgiveness in you, and forgive anyone you need to forgive. Feeling your breath, feeling your majesty, feeling the majesty of all that surrounds us. There might be someone you wish to ask for forgiveness from, because we act from fear and confusion and just plain forgetting about the sacredness of life. So take a few moments to ask for that forgiveness. And think, Master of the worlds, I hereby forgive whoever has hurt me and whoever has done me any wrong, whether he or she did it deliberately or by accident, whether by word or by deed, whether in this incarnation or any previous one. May no one suffer on my account. Let me not revert to my old ways, that I do not cause anger with my actions. And one last time, breathing in forgiveness, peace, joy. Breathe it into your heart center, all that is possible for peace, for joy, for forgiveness. And we end with, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable before you, Yah, my God, my rock, and my Redeemer.
I'm just looking at the top of 144. Reb Zalman calls this the karma stopper. When all else fails, when we don't know what to say or do, we recite the 13 attributes which God shared with Moses. In so doing, we remind both God and ourselves that love and mercy transcend judgment.
Yes. This is one of my favorite parts of Yom Kippur, the 13 attributes of God, God's mercy. And
Which I spoke about on Rosh Hashanah.
true enough.
You remember, right?
Yes, true enough. For those of us who have a longer term memory, can remember 10 days ago. Okay, so we say, Adonai, Adonai, our God, Yud-He, Vav-He, El, visualizing kindness, Rachamim, merciful womb, Hanim, gracious giver, erech, long stretched web, a paim, many-faceted jewel, Rav Chesed, overwhelming generosity, ve'emet, revealing truth, Notzer Chesed, funneling kindness, Lalafim, helper of thousands, Notze Avon, preserving through unnecessary, complicated detritus, Vafesha, suffering bad-tempered,
Detours. Sorry. There's a difference.
well, maybe. Suffering bad-tempered outbursts, Vehata, bearing omission, Venake, and cleansing the Rachamim messes. Oh, the resultant messes. I don't read so good.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Notzer Chesed lo al alafim, Notzer Chesed lo alafim, Nose Avon v'Afesha, V'Chata v'Nakeh, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed v'Emet, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Notzer Chesed v'Emet, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun. Page 147, Shema Kolenu. Please read with me this little bit in the English. Now hear our voice, Yah, our God. Accept our prayer from where we are now. Bring us back to our center, and we will return there with gladness. Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, aleinu, v'kabel berachamim, berachamim uvratzon, et tfilateinu. Hashivenu Adonai elecha, Hashivenu elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh yameinu, yameinu kekedem. Al tashlichenu, al tashlichenu, azvenu. Shema koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, chus v'rachem aleinu, aleinu. Tikabel brachamim, brachamim uvratzon. Et tfilateinu. Hashivenu ya elecha v'nashuva chadesh yameinu kekedem. Renew our faith in life. Release us from pain and strife. Remind us of who we are as we return to you. Avinu Malkeinu, page 148. Please join me. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'hanenu, ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu v'hanenu, ki ein banu masim. So I just want to invite all of you. I know that it's customary to fast and to not drink anything on Yom Kippur, but I'll be taking sips of water, and I expect that if any of you do need to take care of your bodies, please do so. If you need water or if you need to go out, if you know, it's Jewish tradition to put life and health before anything. So what do Al Jolson, opera singers Richard Tucker and Jan Pierce, Johnny Mathis, Perry Como, and cantors all over the world have in common? Can anybody guess? Yeah, we've all sung Kol Nidre, which you heard at the beginning of the service. The custom of reciting or chanting the text 3 times began in medieval
medieval Europe. Tonight I sang it, then we all spoke the English translation. Then we heard Jake on the cello, playing a version by composer Max Bruch. This piece is so iconic in Ashkenazic Jewish high holiday liturgy that this service on Yom Kippur Eve is known as Kol Nidre, which means all vows. The text is mainly in Aramaic, which was the vernacular at the time the text was written. Aramaic, rather than Hebrew, which was only used in the writing and study of holy texts, would have been used, Aramaic would have been used for legal texts. The text of Kol Nidre is formulated like a legal document, and by all opinions, rather dry. Musicologist Irene Heskes explains that the text has always been problematic for scholars, Talmudic to modern. She states that the Shulchan Aruch, the standard code of Jewish law, considers the text of Kol Nidre to be a precarious paradoxical statement for which the author and circumstances of origin remain unknown. The Talmudic rabbis did not approve of vow-making and regarded impulsive oaths as foolish, if not immoral, and even suspected of being a throwback to pagan rituals. Still, by 1100, the text became standard practice for the beginning of Yom Kippur. The text has been used nefariously at times by anti-Semites as so-called proof that Jews can't be trusted to keep their word, because on a superficial reading, it looks as if we're asking to be absolved of responsibility for any vows we made or will make in the coming year. Historians have speculated that the text might have been employed by those forced to convert, so that any vows they had made against their will would be annulled. However, the rabbis suggest that the text is less an actual oath than a plea to God to forgive our human imperfections. Realistically, it's likely that we'll miss the mark in some way during this year, no matter how hard we try. But it's of course imperative and expected that we keep trying. The rabbis of the Reform movement, from its beginning in Germany in the mid-19th century, found the text so irrelevant to the Reform theology that they didn't even include it in their High Holy Day Machzorim, instead substituting Psalm 130, "Out of the depths I call to you." However, congregants were so bereft without Kol Nidre that the Reform rabbis at their conference in 1930 tried adding the tune into their machzor without words. Composer and cantor A.W. Binder, attending the conference, expressed the importance of the tune, saying everybody was enthusiastic about it. It was not a question of words, it was simply the feeling that at this particular moment, throughout world Jewry, all are united in one song. So eventually the original text, along with the Kol Nidre tune, was reinstated in the Reform High Holy Day Machzor. The music of Kol Nidre itself is an example of what Jewish musicologists and cantors refer to as a Mi-Sinai tune. Mi-Sinai is Hebrew for from Mount Sinai, with the idea that the tunes were brought down by Moses from Mount Sinai along with the Ten Commandments. Mi-Sinai melodies are composed of either complete tunes or collections of extended musical phrases. Because they've been heard for centuries during worship, to many worshipers they're as essential as if they had actually been handed down from Sinai. In reality, Mi-Sinai melodies cannot literally be attributed to biblical times. Most probably they come from Middle Germany, from between the 10th and 15th centuries CE. They're melodies that have withstood the test of time. They are a traditional group of cantorial melodies sung in the Ashkenazic synagogue, regarded as obligatory, and for which there are no other melodies that can be substituted. Jack Gottlieb, in his book, Funny It Doesn't Sound Jewish, describes the origins of Mi-Sinai melodies as a raw mix of Jewish psalmody, Minnesänger, ballads, Minnesänger means a traveling minstrel, and Rhineland street songs. And it actually sounds like Rhineland street songs sounds kind of like it would be sung by a traveling minstrel anyway. Edelson thought that the piece also showed the influence of Western Ashkenazi Haftarah cantillation. Just for contrast, here's a description of the other types of melodies we hear in the synagogue. So not mi sinai. Wow, I really am having trouble with that tonight. Mi sinai. Not mi sinai, but essential. Older musical pieces influenced by non-Jewish musical sources that have withstood the test of time and have come to be regarded as essential to Jewish musical heritage. An example of this might be the Adon Olam that I know it's like the first piece I remember from the first time I ever went to synagogue as a child. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra. And it's widely thought that that tune is from an old German beer drinking song. But now it's essential. So not time-tested but essential melodies, mostly from the influence of Western music, have been adopted by individual congregations or movements as minhag, custom, such that they have come to carry the force of being required. This category is subject to the most debate and emotion in individual Jewish communities. An example might be the Misha Be'erach by Debbie Friedman that we sing frequently in our community. This piece, written in the early 1970s, is in the type of folk style that had become popular at Jewish summer camps, and it was a departure from the synagogue music that had come before. However, it's arguably become the most well-known prayer for healing in most liberal congregations, and actually some conservative ones too. I'd like to emphasize that the tune for Kol Nidre, with which most of us are familiar here in the States, is based on Ashkenazic Jewish tradition, that is, Eastern and Western European musical traditions. Sephardic Jews, Mediterranean and Middle Eastern, have their own melodic settings for the text, which are less ornate and more chant-like than the one with which we're most familiar. However, they're no less essential and feel no less traditional to their listeners. The Ashkenazi tune that has become associated with the text expresses the kavanah, the sincere intent of the text, so that even if it's difficult to grasp the meaning, you understand it in your kishkas, in your gut. Avraham Tzvi Edelson, pioneering Jewish musicologist, described it thus: while the text, a mere renouncement of vows, is devoid of religious emotions, its musical setting is generally accepted as an expression of the deep religious feelings which move the Jewish heart on the eve of the Day of Atonement. Much later, Johnny Mathis, non-Jewish and non-Hebrew speaking, who recorded the tune and sang it in concert numerous times, described the power of Kol Nidre melody in an interview for the Contemporary Jewish Museum. It's on YouTube. That the music was so emotionally driven that he got about 95% of the words correct. He immediately understood the improvisational nature of chazanut, which is the traditional musical language of the cantor. Mathis describes how the cantorial practice of singing on a particular chord and going up and down on it, going a little crazy vocally, made sense to him. Kol Nidre gave him the chance to let it all out, hold back nothing. Kol Nidre was featured on recordings by both Jewish and non-Jewish singers and influenced classical music from Beethoven to Max Bruch, who composed the cello version of the piece that we heard tonight. Max Bruch said about Kol Nidre, "Even though I'm a Protestant, as an artist I deeply felt the outstanding beauty of these melodies. Therefore, I gladly spread them through my arrangement." Kol Nidre has a huge place in the history of cinema. It was featured in, of all things, the first talking picture, The Jazz Singer, starring Al Jolson. Jolson, born Asa Joelson, in 1886 in Lithuania to a father who was both a rabbi and a cantor, sang the piece himself in the film. Kol Nidre in The Jazz Singer becomes Jolson's character's path to redemption, his return to the tradition of his ancestors. Think of how remarkable this is. Movie lovers all over the world went to see the first talking picture, and it had a Jewish religious theme. Both the ornate version I sang and the cello piece we heard tonight are based on the same basic motif. Die, 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 die. This basic tune influenced Broadway as well as Hollywood, not least because so many composers such as George and Ira Gershwin, Irving Berlin, Kurt Weill, and Rodgers and Hammerstein were Jewish. In fact, some were even sons of cantors. So Gershwin wrote a piece called My One and Only. My one and only, die, 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 kol nidre vesare. And let's see, there was one from Sondheim, and if you ask me later, I'll sing it for you. So, as humorous as I, at least, found these fun facts about Kol Nidre, I don't want to suggest that the use of Kol Nidre in popular culture has cheapened it. Instead, I think it's a testament to the emotional impact of the melody among Jews and non-Jews alike. Hearing it instantly touches the soul. It encapsulated for watchers of The Jazz Singer and communicates to us at Yom Kippur the whole history of the Jewish people in a few short musical phrases. It prepares our hearts for the deep contrition that's required of us during the days of awe. As I said in my Rosh Hashanah sermon, I strongly believe that the music in a service in of itself is just as meaningful and holy as any written prayer or sermon, that it provides understanding on a cellular level in a way that words don't do. We were taught in cantorial school that the music is always in service to the text, and that's in general true. However, I consider some Jewish melodies just by themselves to be Torah, the teaching of Torah, just as much as the study of Talmud or any other Jewish text. May the words of Kol Nidre inspire you to contemplate the meaning of the vows you make this year to God and to one another, and may its melody touch your soul in ways that words may not. Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Once again, I'm Carol Folkrod, and I want to welcome everybody to our services. We start tomorrow morning at 10:30 for the morning service, and then continue through the day with learning and meditation and the services. The timing of it all can be found on our website if you want to know specifically. I want to thank a number of people who make our services possible. First of all, the UUFR, we are using their sanctuary, some of their equipment, and we really, really appreciate their being willing to allow us in their beautiful sanctuary. Sage is back there, and he's running all the technical stuff for us, which is wonderful. Each microphone has come on when it should. He's doing the YouTube. Thank you. Cantor Karen, thank you. You have shared your beautiful voice and your wise thoughts, and we really, really appreciate it. We thank Jake, the cellist, for his beautiful playing of Kol Nidri. Louis is our community director, and he has helped organize all of this. He works with UUFR to make sure that our schedules work. He makes sure we have the equipment that we need, and we really probably could not function without Louis. Stacy back there, who has done a reading for us. She has provided music during the services and will again tomorrow. Yes, Louis also played the piano for our settling music today. I thank the board of directors without whom we could not function. Steve, our vice president, Margie, our immediate past president, Johnny, our secretary, Ed, our treasurer, and I suspect he's on YouTube, Clarissa, who is behind me. She also put a lot of time into planning this service and making it work. Gregory is our West Coast representative, and he's come east for this. And Leah, who will be baking for us tomorrow. We will have a break the fast over in the next door building. And again, thank you all.
We rise for the Aleinu, page 149. And we open the ark. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו עם גויי הארצות, ולא שמנו עם משפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו עמהם, וגורלנו עם כל העולם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר וחי אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. Meditation. Please read with me on page 151 before we recite our Kaddish.
Steve, Karen, Steve will read with you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't.
These things I know, how the living go on living, and how the dead go on living with them, so that even in a forest, even a dead tree casts a shadow, and the leaves fall one by one, and the branches break in the wind, and the bark peels off slowly, and the trunk cracks, and the rain seeps in through the cracks, and the trunk falls to the ground, and the moss covers it. And in the spring, the rabbits find it and build their nest inside the dead tree, so that nothing is wasted in nature or in love.
So we're about to say Kaddish, and there are many people that we will remember tomorrow at Yizkor, but right now is a time to remember especially those people who have passed, for who Shloshim it is, meaning the last month of their passing, or for whom this is the Yortzeit, the anniversary of their passing. Perhaps for the whole month of October. So if you have names, please add them. I would like to remember the Yortzeit of my grandmother, Hayat Sarah Wolf. Johnny? And of course, we want to include the community from which our lovely Torah comes from. And also all the nameless for whom there is no one to say Kaddish.
Please join with me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'gala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavrach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela u'leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, tamiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru Amen. So speaking of the Adon Olam, we have a chance to sing it as our closing hymn tonight, page 154.
Except that we have a poem first.
Oh, apologies. I actually still have a chance to apologize.
And I forgive you. For none of us are perfect, and you are lovely in both your perfection and your imperfection. This is a poem, this is a step of forgiveness. It's by Rami Shapiro. Even now, the depth of sin escapes me. There is more darkness than the feeble candle of forgiveness can erase. Yet, by its light, I see my place, where I stand and where I might next step. It is enough to step one step, to turn one turn, this time, now. Yes, there is pain. Yes, there is hurt. And there is redemption. With the pain, with the hurt, there is redemption. Who can strengthen what has been crooked? I cannot, though I so wish it otherwise. But otherwise has trapped me too long. Now is the time of arising. Now is the time of awakening. Now is the time of doing, not straightening, but no more twisting, not forgetting, but at last forgiving. And to that I say, Amen.
And that's by Clarissa. Clarissa wrote it.
No,
You didn't?
this is Rami Shapiro. Clarissa's
Oh,
written
no.
many of them, but this one is Rami Shapiro.
Oh.
But while we're here, maybe let's do a benediction. So this comes because we have a God of mercy, and this is a time for us to look deeply into ourselves and into this God of mercy and connect with this God feeling. So these are the wishes of our hearts. Please say them after me. May I be happy. May I be happy. May I be peaceful.
May I be peaceful.
May I be healthy.
May I be healthy.
May I be safe. May I be courageous.
May I be courageous.
May I live with contentment and ease. May I
live with contentment and ease.
May you be happy.
May you be happy.
May you be peaceful.
May you be peaceful.
May you be healthy.
May you be healthy.
May you be safe.
May you be safe.
May you be courageous.
May you be courageous.
May you live with contentment and ease.
May you.
May we be happy.
May we be happy.
May we be peaceful. May we be healthy.
May we be healthy.
May we be safe.
May we be safe.
May we be courageous.
May we be courageous.
And may we live with contentment and ease.
And may we live with contentment and ease.
Amen.
So it did occur to me maybe we could do the beer drinking Adon Olam, even though it's Yom Kippur. I usually don't, but since I discussed it, why not? Okay. Because by now it's practically Sinai melody. So, okay. Adon Olam Asher Malach. בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא אדון עולם והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה אדון עולם בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצורכב לי בעת צרה אדון עולם והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא וחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם בידו להפקיד רוחי, בעת תשען והעירה אדון עולם, ואם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא אדון עולם, אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נשא וחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא אדון עולם. All right, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Drink water if you have to.